Greetings and welcome back to yet another episode of the Binding of Isaac Repentance. And today we're gonna do another hard run, not great. It's not April Fool's, I'm not gonna try to pull that trick under your rug again. And I've heard a little birdie tell me that I can unlock a character if I beat the game as Lazarus without dying once. So let's try accomplishing that. I have a couple of topics I want to talk about today, but I'm gonna ease you into it. I've played a bit of Isaac yesterday, not as much as on the first day, and most of my runs were actually greed mode. I think I did like 2 hard wins and the rest was greed mode, so I haven't actually progressed maybe that far since the last gameplay, but you know, maybe that's good early on. We don't wanna be too far ahead, make you confused, like suddenly I'm in an alternate dimension inside of Isaac and you're like, when did this happen? And I'm like, well, I just pulled an all-nighter yesterday, burned the midnight oil, and this is what we ended up with. So anti-grav, an exciting item, mainly for the prospects of synergies that might happen later down the road. I love this item, I've always loved it. It's a significant tier upgrade, it really changes the way you approach rooms as well. And how you tackle some enemies. And that's what makes it exciting. Like especially with agile enemies, it's a bit hard to hit them, obviously, because they move a lot. I haven't bought my pill yet. Oh. See, I told you, pills are bad. No, I don't agree. Like, I'm still gonna die on this bridge. I'm actually thinking of making another, like a follow-up video, just to, I won't say prove that pills are bad, but to like run another experiment about how good I think pills are. And basically what I was thinking of doing, so I'll just look at like a few runs and see how many pills I get on average. And then I want to run some simulations. If I take, let's say, 10 random pills, are my stats gonna be in the positive or they're gonna be in the negative? What's the odds? Like, what are the chances of one or the other happening? How many pills are gonna be good, etc. Right? So we can definitively put this question to the rest, and or at least that I have some evidence to back up my claims that pills are actually good. But for now, I'm not feeling too bad. Oh, that was a nice dodge. See, I'm getting used to the new speed, right? I think the main problem was that I was playing with muscle memory, but now I'm actually thinking as I'm playing the game, which oh, the Headless Horseman. These boys are faster, aren't they? So see, this guy is just so nice to fight with anti-grav, especially if he's rushing around. I really love his new like look. He seems much more menacing. Like he seems less one-dimensional, I guess. I'm not sure how I feel about the shadow right across his face. It makes me feel like his face is. Okay, so I know I need to focus a little bit, okay? Okay. So that's okay. We have a lot of spirit hearts, so it's I don't know how that hit me. I know how that hit me. Okay, so the job is not to die, okay? So I can. Okay, so I think we got it. We got it. So hopefully he goes up here and stumbles upon the block of tears I've set up for him, but he didn't. Okay, so that was a bit of a difficult fight, mainly because I got hit a couple of too many times, which is, I guess, what you could say for most fights. Usually end up dying or losing because you get hit a few too many times. But we got through it. We have the pony, and I have the. I'll enter the curse room. And I have anti-grav, which, like I said, is an item I enjoy, but it's definitely not an item that can do a lot by itself, so we'll definitely be needing some help when I get through some of the later stages of the game. The Hermit teleports us out, and the Stars teleports us out. Well, I'll just save this for next floor, because we don't have a key, so we can actually go to our treasure room, and I'll just teleport right there immediately, because our health's not looking too hot, and I don't want to necessarily lose the spirit hearts. So let's just do that. Nice. So how's everybody enjoying Repentance so far? I've read online that a lot of people are having trouble with it. Oh, and a damage upgrade. Very nice. Classic item, chemical peel. Increases the damage of your every other tier by 1, I think, or something like that. Classic. So yeah, I was reading online that a lot of people are struggling with the difficulty of the game, which I have a bone to pick with all of that argument, which I think was addressed when I woke up this morning. People were already, I think, talking about it a little bit more rationally, but last night it was total chaos. Basically, people were saying, so obviously, right, it's a new DLC, it's a new expansion. We haven't really gotten used to the plethora of changes yet. I just noticed that the dash is a 2-room charge. Oh, this is amazing. That's so good, actually. What the hell? I just wiped the entire floor clean by the single dash, which is actually a 2-room charge. That's so good. So yeah, people were saying that okay, it was just dumb. That the game was way too difficult, and I'm inclined. I'm not inclined to agree. I think that's my first take on it. Not on the basis that I haven't that I've actually experienced the full difficulty yet. I mean, I haven't even gone to the alternate floors yet. But to me, it just seemed a little bit premature. Mainly because we really haven't had the chance to either get used to the changes yet, or really like learn what the meta is, so to say. Because in Antibirth Plus, there was a lot of like we have to keep in mind, right, that coming from Antibirth Plus, we've played the game for a really long time, so a lot of things just seemed obvious to us, and which items were good, which items weren't, you know, which to avoid. That we have to go to Devil Deals all the time if you want to have a good run. But I think the main difficulty, I'll take this, yeah, there's no reason not to take it now. And we have, I'm taking it, dude. This is, Staring to the Abyss. I really enjoyed the item when we got it last time, and now I think actually it might be much better. So the main problem I had with Antibirth Plus difficulty, oh my god, that is actually so cool. I need some tier rate. I'm gonna have portals all over. It's gonna be freaking awesome. Yeah, so the main problem I had with Antibirth Plus was mainly the difficulty was very Feast or Famine, and it felt very much outside my control. So I struggled a lot with some of the runs, like for say let's 3 or the 4 floors. Like for the first 3 or 4 floors I would be struggling, and then I would get the super broken items, and then I could literally just turn my brain off because I was so powerful. And well, I understand that a lot of people enjoy that, because in some sense it's like that power is earned because you had to go to the first, I don't know how many floors before you actually got to the good ones, before you actually got stronger. It still felt kind of cheap to me, because at that point I was like, well, I'm not really playing the game. Teardrop Chime, it feels lucky. Oh, I wonder what this is. It didn't increase my luck, so it's not that. Okay, how did that fly navigate right inside of me? Felt like it had homing. But personally, Repentance, again, so far feels a bit more balanced across the board. So early on, it seems like the runs are... Like you're more likely to get an item that's gonna benefit your run somehow, but you're less likely to get an item that's gonna make you absolutely broken. And I think that's a good change, right? Again, I don't know how the difficulty changes with all the alternate paths and unlocking everything is harder, etc. But I do feel, again, that it's just a little bit premature to really call those shots. We need to give people time to even discover what the effects of some items are. I remember when we first started playing Isaac, we had all these wild theories about what some items do, and a lot of the time we were very wrong. I don't have any concrete examples in my mind right now, but I do remember that we thought the certain items did one thing, and then it turned out they were doing another thing entirely. And you can imagine how just like the base knowledge of the items might affect your... I'm going to the shop. Might affect the overall power you perceive in the game. So like if I see this... oh, I know what the 7-cent item is. It's Mom's Bracelet, and it allows you to pick up rocks and throw them around. Well, I think it's a very fun item to play around with. I'm gonna skip it for now. Because I have the pony, and I think it's a lot better, especially because it gives me flight. So I'm just explaining it. I hope I made myself clear. So don't be too disappointed. It's a new item. I know I skipped it, but no, hopefully it's gonna make its appearance in another run where it can be a little bit more useful. So yeah, it's a bit more Feast and Famine, like I said, less Feast and Famine, and I think it's fundamentally, it feels like a better change. And the fact that we still don't know what's all the items do and what all the item changes were, it's just really hard for me, I would imagine, to say what's necessarily better or what's worse. And we just really do need a little bit more time to get certain things fixed. Now, of course, I'm not saying that it's beyond criticism, because I think that certain things definitely don't make sense, and certain things definitely do need changing, at least from what I've read online. But I think overall those are minorities, like minor things which don't really have a profound effect on how the game is played. Okay, so I didn't know you could actually dash diagonally. That's why I was holding down. I just thought it was gonna go in one direction. Like, even see the little things like that. The fact that you can dash diagonally with this item, which I don't think you were able to before, is what really, like, that changes, I wouldn't say everything, but it adds another dimension to something that I thought I already knew. And that's just like one small change out of a documented 1,000,000 changes which exist within Repentance. So we'll see how the game turns out. I think, though, a good argument a lot of people have said is that the game was kind of tailored to people who are better at it naturally, and I think to some extent that might be true. But here's a really funny, like, comment. So I'm not trying to call anyone out or disparage anyone. But I saw a couple of comments that went like, well, I just played this game for fun. And wait, you can change the direction mid. Okay, so this is like a whole nother like world using this item. Apparently it's harder to hit. So you can actually change direction in the middle of the trajectory as you're dashing to something. That's actually amazing. So yeah, one comment I found online was, well, I played this game only for the fun of it. I'm just trying to, you know, I enjoyed every single roguelike is hard, but I think that that Isaac could be the one that's easier. It's just fun to get into. You get in, you have a broken run, etc., right? And they're like, well, I understand that this balance might be better, but I'm not willing to put in as much time into the game as I already have, right? Like, I don't want to relearn, I have a job, etc., etc. Which is totally fair, right? But then I in the same comment, or like a similar comment saying, was like, I have 800 hours in the game and I died 23 times in a row. It's like, I mean, I'm not saying right you're contradicting yourself, but it does feel a little bit contradictory. just on the basis of you're saying that you don't have time to play the game and relearn it, but at the same time you're saying you're still bad at it after having played it for more than 800 hours. So, you know, I don't know where the magical balance lies here, or how to approach balancing. I'm not an expert, but I do feel like we need to give it a little bit more time before coming to any definite conclusions. I think that's a very fair take. And that's about as much as I'm willing to say on the matter. I haven't played enough to really be in the loop or to make any concrete judgments, so I'll abstain. I destroyed the little ones just because they're annoying to destroy with anti-grav tears. See, when you get the anti-grav, not the anti-grav, the Oculus Rift, Ocular Rift, that's the one. Oculus Rift is a VR device. On the Gertie, I feel like it really nullifies the entire fight, because like as soon as he spawns enemies, they're just gonna get instantly yeeted. Okay, so just again, muscle memory. I need to be a little bit more proactive with how I'm moving. I see you flying. One thing I do know, one thing I do think is different, or has changed significantly, is the power of Devil Deals. And Devil Deals used to be obviously the bread and butter of every Isaac run, but now they're just, they're not as good. I guess is a good way to put it. So I'm sure that my shadow is actually a decent item now, but I'm not gonna take it on the basis of what I just said. I think managing health is much more important than it ever was, because I know, I remember when I played this game, I didn't really care about health, which maybe is thematic, because Isaac just like gulps pills down all over without any care in the world, and he doesn't care about his health, so why should I? But I do think there's something to be said about it. Taurus. Okay, so Taurus is an item which I enjoy. I think it's a decent one. So yeah, you need to be a little bit more proactive about health and the choices you make, and especially because devil deals are more expensive now. So if I go and, for example, spend 1 red heart on Judas's Shadow or whatever, not Judas's Shadow, just like my Shadow, I don't have to, like, I might not have enough health to pick up a devil deal on the next floor, because, for example, I won't get any spirit hearts, and I might enjoy something like Brimstone a lot more. So it is an adjustment that needs to be made. Again, I just need to, well, not just me, but everyone. That's why I kept going between we and me. We just need to approach the game in a more thoughtful manner, right? We have to rediscover it and just figure out what's going on. Another bad habit I'm doing is not trying to find the secret rooms. To be fair, I didn't have a ton of bombs to do this with. Okay, so where the hell could it be? Here? This looks like the right spot. Yeah. Secret rooms, because they got buffed to some extent, especially super secret rooms. Just on the basis that you're less likely to find the secret room which is useless, the second secret room which is useless, means you're more likely to find secret rooms which are actually useful. And I'll try a bomb here. Nice. See, and like 2 chests with an eternal heart, like that's a health upgrade. That's basically an item, right? So something that didn't have a lot of value before has suddenly gained a lot of value, and we just need to like reevaluate it a little bit. I don't know what that was, reevaluate. I know how to say that word. Okay, so I'll save my 15 cents maybe for an item on the next floor in the shop, and I'll be happy leaving this floor knowing I have a ton of tears and no damage. But like, this is exactly what I wanted, so I can't really complain too much. I said I hope I get a lot of tier upgrades so I can actually shoot drifts at blistering speeds from within my eyes. Okay, so this was a pretty good library. Very much worth the 2 keys, especially with flight. So that makes them a little bit more unpredictable. You didn't have to. It's a damage upgrade. It's a range upgrade, I think. That's fantastic. I know it got nerfed a little bit, but still, happy to see it. It was just a good get on all fronts, especially because we desperately needed some damage. In a sense, I feel like the game, like for me, the way I've played it, has turned more into a... Oh, it's a library. A Book of Shadows, obviously a classic, one of the best items you can you can possibly hope for. I might actually come back for it, especially to fight the boss. But for now, I'll just stick to flight because it gives me a little bit more maneuverability. So I was trying to say, the way I approach the game now, or how I feel the game approaches me, is more in the sense of I'm trying to scrounge a run together. Where I'm basically just trying my best to get a good run going, and then I'm kind of relying on the fact that the secret rooms and the second secret rooms or, you know, item rooms are gonna give me an item that's usable. And actually that has happened a couple of times, that I was just desperate, and then I enter a room and it's like, here you go, here's like 2 black hearts, which, and on top of that I'm able to win the run because of it. And that's just an exciting prospect to some extent. Especially because it feels like it happens reliably, which is a balancing act which I feel like is so hard to achieve. Because how are you gonna do that, right? The game is totally random, so you can't really rely on it. And I'm sure, again, as I get better, I'm gonna have less problems with the game, and the more I learn it. But for now, it feels like very exciting for sure. So I should be using my charges, again, if you want to play this game optimally and not not complain about the difficulty. I should be doing my due diligence. So then, if I end up losing while doing everything right, then I can complain about the difficulty, right? You need to give validity to your statements. I think this is just good life advice. If you're gonna go out there and criticize something, I think it's a good idea to have something to back it up. The world, okay. I'm a fan of this. I'll donate the rest because I still need to fill up this donation mission. So in this case, right, if I'm gonna go out and say, well, this game is hard, I need to kind of prove that I am a decent player, that I've tried to do everything right, and then, you know, I can say that the game is genuinely difficult. And again, that might not be even a bad thing. That just might be something that's intentional, and it might be something we have to live with. Maybe Edmund has decided that he's not gonna have freeloaders playing his game anymore. If you're gonna play this game, you better bring up your A game and be ready to invest 1,000 hours into it. Which, you know, maybe not the best fiscal choice. It seems like it would turn some people off the entire prospect, but if that's how he designed the game to be, it's ultimately our choice if we're gonna be okay with it. Alright, so I know I said I was gonna go back to get the Book of Shadows but I am really liking the pony. I feel it's a significant boon to my overall enjoyment of this run. So I'm probably just gonna stick with it. I definitely don't need the hangman. I'm just gonna use it. Spirit hearts, big fan of those. Even curse rooms. So I've read online that going to the curse rooms or taking red heart damage doesn't cost you. Okay, I just used it because I'm afraid of these little flies. They move way too erratically, and if you haven't encountered them yet, they steal your item charges, which is definitely cute. But also kind of scary because they move in a very weird pattern, and they remind me of little spiders or cockroaches in real life. And this is a theory I've had for a really long time. I don't think that bugs are inherently scary because, you know, they can hurt you, but it's just because they're so erratic. You can't predict their movements. I was always afraid not of spiders. I think spiders are pretty cool in general. But as soon as I see a little spider which crawls on top of me and then just suddenly disappears, that's panic-inducing, because where the hell did the little bugger go? Is he trying to plot something behind my back? Is he on top of me? Is he behind me? Is he on bottom? Like, he's hiding somewhere and I don't know where he is. That's what makes it scary. It's the fact you've been outmaneuvered by this absolutely... by decades of evolution. This little creature has managed to evolve to such a point that it's able to fool a full-grown adult brain, which is, you have to admit, a very scary prospect. Or a concept, I guess, not a prospect. And it's basically just a little bio machine that's programmed to hunt bugs, other bugs. So it's just, you know, you have to respect it. You have to respect it, and I feel like the fear does naturally arise from that respect we have for spiders and their abilities. Even walking into a web that you didn't see is a scary concept. But because it feels like someone set out a trap for you and you just got captured in it. And it makes you feel kind of dumb. Because it's like, well, this little thing, which has 7 brain cells, managed to outsmart me in a way. But hey, props to spiders. I think they're... I think they're great hunters. I think their method of hunting is one of the most cleverest in the entire animal kingdom. Set a trap, just wait for people to walk in. It's genius. It's borderline genius. You don't really have to do much. And the best part is you can just set these webs wherever you want. You just need to find a good traffic spot and you just go to town. Bugs are everywhere. There's always a lot of food to eat. Just on the, I think that's also another thing we have to compliment, the entire choice of food. If you're gonna eat something, eating bugs is probably your best bet, because there's so many of them, especially if you're a small creature. You know, don't be like pandas or even koalas, which just eat a particular type of food. Again, I'm not shading bamboo or eucalyptus, but you have to wonder, you know, what kind of creature decides to eat something that's not readily available. At least humans, we eat everything. That's, if it moves, like, we eat it, we cook it. If it doesn't move, like plants, we cook it. It's just... What is this? Battery pack. Instant energy. Oh. Does it just give me this? That doesn't feel right for 15 cents. Maybe whenever I get hit, I drop a battery. That's my current theory. It feels very shop-esque. Why did you guys stop shooting at me? Alright, so that's another height. Is this the mount floor? No, it's not. So one thing I've also noticed is that I'm generally slower, but I also think that just because I'm taking my time exploring the floors. If you're trying to make boss rush, it was possible before, to be fair, to get to Mom and explore pretty much everything, but not every single time. Not every single time. You did require a little bit of luck by either having some good items or a good run, or by having the floor layouts or the room layouts just be less offensive, I guess. Sometimes you do get a bad seed and there's not much you can do about it. So the Mask of Infamy. Oh. I'm skipping the cutscenes and I realize that the cutscenes might be really cool. And the art might have changed, so I'll try not to do that in the future. Right, I have the virus! Oh man, this is actually an amazing combo. My favorite part about anti-grav is the fact that you can set out bullet traps for the mask and it actually runs into you. And then they still deal damage. Which just makes no physical sense. But hey, let's just roll with it, because why not? So there's a blood machine, a blood donation machine here, and I'm very willing to abuse it, primarily for the fact because I want to donate as much money as possible. And from what I've read, you only gain 1 cent per play now, which definitely a little bit of a nerve, but I do hope at least that you can still get higher valued coins out of it as well. Red hearts are also just naturally harder to come by. Maybe the drop rates of consumables. What was that? Maybe the drop rate of consumables has also naturally decreased. Huh? No. There you go. I remember the virus. Was it the virus or was it Serpent's Kiss? It gave you black hearts whenever you poisoned enemies and you killed enemies with poison. Not sure, not sure. Right. I do wonder how... You know, one thing that really makes me kind of freak out in my pants is the fact that this game took almost 2 or 3 years to make. Not because... So I was thinking about this last time, right? So if you think about it in the terms of the average human lifespan, if it takes 2 years to make, and let's say you live in a developed country, if you're watching this, I think that's a safe bet. We're probably gonna live to be about 75 or maybe 80, which is, you know, significant, I think. Not a lot of people live up to that age. Oh, it's a beam. Oh, I lose flight, of course. It's kidney beam. We've had that before. I'll try it. I think it just infatuates enemies or something like that. Yeah. It's a decent item. It's a 1-room charge now, which again just feels so much better. The fact that they rebalanced basically all of the active items to give them less charge is so good, because the active items were terrible. That's just a universal truth. But these spiders die out on their own? They do. Nice. But some live longer than others. That makes sense. So yeah, I was trying to give you an existential crisis, so let me go back to trying to do that. But let's say you're gonna live to 75 or 80, and then Isaac Repentance took about 2 years to come out, right? If you think about it, if you just think about it in terms of Isaac DLCs, you can only experience 40 Isaac DLCs in a lifetime, which just feels like a really low amount to me. I'm not saying, you know, 80 years is a lot, but, or it feels like, oh, god damn. It feels like a lot, but 40 Isaac DLCs, that doesn't feel that much. And the fact that we've gone through 3 already, you know, the clock is ticking. I know that there's some parallel stuff going on, so if someone's making an Isaac DLC, then someone else is making another DLC, or another thing you're excited about, or whatever. So it's not like you have to wait those 2 years precisely, but it is rare that something that is influential in our lives happens, and it happens at, I would say, at not a super frequent amount. So let's say that maybe once a year, and there's only a limited amount of things you can really be excited about, like genuinely excited about. just because the ticking, the time ticking down is here to haunt us all. So there's your daily dose of existential crisis. Hopefully you enjoyed your flight with UFO Airlines, where we try to give you the best service and also give you the best panic attacks, if that's a thing. Alright, so I'm not too excited about the run right now. I mean, it's fine and all, but it's not exciting. It's just not really. I did pick up more options, basically for one item only, because this is the last treasure room we're gonna find. Okay, so what does this little fellow do? Oh, it shoots in a scattered direction, but only when... So it doesn't shoot when I shoot. It appeared to shoot when the enemy came close to it. Yeah, I think that's maybe what it does. That's pretty cool. It's like a little defensive item if enemies get too close. No touching. I dig it. Okay, so... Okay, I just curved my dash right into the enemy there. That was pretty sick. I have a lot of red hearts. The main problem here is not having any red hearts to pick up. That's because I wasted all of my red hearts trying to get money. Which again is a deal that many people do in real life. Donating blood for money. Is that still a thing? Does that still happen? I know it used to happen. I'm sure it happens. I'm sure it happens when there's a blood shortage or something like that. That makes sense to me. If they desperately need more blood. Because the issue with blood, from my understanding, is when it's hard to store it, or at least you can't store it for very long. So you need a steady supply of people who are willing to give some of theirs and regenerate it for the people who can't do it themselves. So I assume there are points in time, or like during the holidays or whatever, where there's just naturally less blood available. Okay, again, I tried to dash right and I dashed down because I pressed down in the... Okay, this is not good. This is not good. I just need to dodge. Just need to dodge. It's just that simple. See, this is what Isaac and all games really boil down to. Just if you don't get hit, you don't have to take damage. It's a knowledge bomb. Something not many people know, but... Okay, so let's try a trick. And let me try dashing, because you're invisible during the dash into the spike chest. This might be the coolest... Oh yeah, it worked. And with the 2-room charge, I don't even feel bad doing that. With the 6-room charge, I'd be like, yeah, 2 bombs for 6. That's not worth it. But with the 2-room charge, I'll do it any day of the week. The Lovers, nice. See, even a card like the Lovers, which, in my opinion, was kind of useless before, just gets added an extra meaning. So if I go this route of trying to stack red hearts, which wasn't very viable before, mostly because, I mean, I wouldn't say it wasn't viable. Here you go. Here's the key. I can just go to the womb. I'll pass. I want some items from Mom. Maybe a devil deal, because it's 100% chance. And I have a lot of red hearts to actually support the devil deal, so it would be very dumb not to go there. I was talking about something. I forgot. I straight up forgot. I got so distracted by the fact that there's a random womb opening here. Does this happen often? I don't think I've seen this before. No, I definitely have seen it before. I just don't think I've seen it on this floor, or if I have, I've completely erased it from my memory, because it's not really that relevant. Okay. So I'm digging the run right now. Oh yeah, I was talking about red heart. So yeah, it was back in the day, the only really viable choice was going devil deals, because the angel deals were terrible, and then they got eventually buffed, so they didn't become completely terrible. And then of course if you got a little bit lucky. But now the red hearts, with all the new items and all the new mechanics in place, just feel a lot more important. And I'm here for it, because I feel there's a lot of items which, without red hearts, you're just not really able to utilize. And that's such a shame, because some of those items are really cool. And as someone who bought the game and enjoys playing it, I really want to explore everything that the game has managed to get me to explore. So the tower is going to be... I keep forgetting, I cannot do that. I can do that though. Mom? And rest in peace. Okay, so none of the bombs hit her. That's disappointing. Okay, so you're gonna come out? Because I wanna... You little... Oh, so that little's on the right. I didn't see that. The mark, I'll take it. Sister Maggie, snooze. I snooze. I sleep. I ignore Sister Maggie any day of the week. Not for any particular reason. I don't think she's like, a bad... I would take her if she was my first. But for 1 red heart? Ah, I don't know. There are better things I can get for my 1 red heart. 2 pennies, for example. I can get 2 pennies. Okay. So we're on the womb. I don't even know if I have utero unlocked. That's something you have to unlock. Did you know that? That's kind of insane. I haven't realized that until not too long ago, where I was like, oh, alternate floors have to be unlocked somehow. I don't know how. I just hope it's gonna happen naturally. I'll just play the game, and at some point I hope it's gonna come naturally. I'm thinking there's another topic. I know there were a few things I wanted to talk about before heading into this video, but for now I'm just, you know, I would say my energy reflects the energy of this round in particular. You know, we have anti-grav, but it's just a sad excuse for tears at this point. I thought we were gonna get some fun synergies we can showcase, but no. I was so happy about the little clickbait. No, it was a clickbait, but it's just honest. I was like, let's put the items in the thumbnail, so people know. You know, give them a selling point, so they understand what they're clicking on. So it's like, whoa, this is a new item. I might be interested in seeing that. You know, not in the sense I'm trying to deceive the audience or whatever. But today, it's like, I need to give you a reason to watch. Oh, what's the reason? It's I mean, if you want to be optimistic and a little bit egotistic, I could say, well, my excellent commentary is the reason, but I don't want to go down that road, not yet at least. Okay, it was a good use of my spacebar. Oh, and I got... Wait, so does using spacebar increase my speed and instantly activate my Taurus? Because that would be kind of amazing. Sometimes I think about the words or the sentences coming from my mouth as I'm playing Isaac, and they just don't really make any sense, do they, if you're not familiar with the terms of the game. Does dashing instantly activate my Taurus? It doesn't. So this is just an open plea to anyone who's watching and if maybe not as familiar with Isaac as I am. If any questions, the comment section is right down below. I can't promise to answer what every single item does or what's happening in every single moment of the video, but if you have any general questions, please don't be scared. I love answering questions. That's why I became a teacher. It gives me a full sense of advocacy about things that I don't really know that much about. When people that's one thing everybody talks to. Like about the little power trip teachers have when they're in the classroom. And I'm not saying it can't happen, it absolutely can happen, but in my experience, it doesn't feel all that empowering when you're in a class of 30 kids. Everyone has their own idea what they're doing with your time and not really respecting yours. It doesn't really feel like you have any power over them, and you know, I think that's good. That's better for sure. Because you know, if I had power over them in any more than the figurative sense, I don't think I think that would be hell to dynamic for learning or for anyone. But I mean, back in the day they managed just fine, which I'm not sure is something we agree upon with today. But you know, when they used to punish people by like slapping them with rulers and stuff like that. You all look back on those times like it happened a million years ago, but that was the norm, I would say, even 40 years ago, wasn't it? It's kind of scary to think about it. My parents, for example, got beaten in class because they weren't listening. And just imagine that in today's day and age, everybody's lacking in attention because of all the social media and everything else that's happening inside the world. It's just hard to stay focused when everybody's saying that the world is ending in about 2 minutes. And you have your Facebooks and your Instagrams and your TikToks and all that. It's just hard to stay focused, right? I mean, it's a universal truth. It's true for adults as well. And then to have a teacher who doesn't even know what a TikTok is just slapping you around because they don't understand the importance of virality and that your TikTok just got 100 likes. And how important it is to check that out right now, because this might be the breakthrough in your career that you wanted. I'm being a bit satirical, but I'm also being a bit I mean, definitely facetious, but also there's some ounce of truth to it, right? It's and I think that's ultimately the problem, right? That being excited about likes, which are a reflection of your social standing within your community, is that's what gives you the impression that what you're doing is kind of important. And I'm not saying it isn't. I think being creative with, you know, videos and your posts and TikToks and stuff like that is very important. It's just a matter of I have 2 strength and an Empress card, so I'm gonna be very powerful for the boss. Let's just do this. Wheel of Fortune. I'll load it up. So I think it's very important for you to be, I mean, for all of us to be, I mean, I'm making YouTube videos. That's not exactly a different venture than most. It's just a matter, I think, of applying your worth to something you've made and having that disconnect. And I think that's something that today is more relevant than ever, because a lot more people are creating, right? We're all making memes, all making jokes. You know, that's something that just didn't happen when I was a kid. People weren't creative necessarily. If someone was creative, we applauded it. We were like, oh, well, this guy can play the piano. Like, wow, that's, you know, that's really impressive. Or this guy edits his own videos. Like, oh, that's cool. But now everybody's a little bit of a content creator, right? Like maybe even in just your group of friends, you make a meme, you post it. Like TikToks, for example, videos, short videos. And I think it's an important lesson to learn that what you create is detached from you as a human being, and to some extent it doesn't reflect your values and your worth. But of course, our antiquated school system didn't account for that and how people even perceive it. And I would wager that most teachers don't even know how it feels to be in that position, just on the basis that they didn't really have the opportunity to be as creative as today's generations are. And that's why these lessons kind of fall through the cracks and don't really go anywhere. Okay, so I have unlocked Bethany. I can confirm that this method does indeed work. Thank you for another run, which was admittedly a little bit of a slog, but hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did, talking about random things that popped into my head. And I'm gonna see you in the next one, hopefully. So have a nice day and happy repentancing.